Here at One Posh Closet, we look at women's bodies differently than what you would be accustomed to in the everyday world that we have lived in for so long. We don't think that a woman's body is best mentioned in reference to fruit or to a shape of a square or a apple or whatever. We believe that you are unique and you are beautiful, regardless of your shape, regardless of your size. And we believe that your body can be referenced into something that has a great connotations. Someone once said, diamonds are a girl's best friend, and we believe that. And just like diamonds are a girl's best friend, diamonds are rare, they're precious, they're beautiful and strong. And that is what we have chosen to create a narrative around when we reference the body of a woman. It feels more empowering that way. It's important to remain encouraged along. Welcome to Defining Your Silhouette, how to dress for your body type. Here at One Posh Closet, we look at women's bodies differently than what you would be accustomed to in the everyday world that we have lived in for so long. We don't think that a woman's body is best mentioned in reference to fruit or to a shape of a square or a apple or whatever. We believe that you are unique and you are beautiful, regardless of your shape, regardless of your size. And we believe that your body can be referenced into something that has a great connotations. Someone once said, diamonds are a girl's best friend, and we believe that. And just like diamonds are a girl's best friend, diamonds are rare, they're precious, they're beautiful and strong. And that is what we have chosen to create a narrative around when we reference the body of a woman. It feels more empowering that way. It's important to remain encouraged along the journey of finding your style and dressing your body type to where you're able to enter into a room and that inner confidence come out. That's the reason why we chose to reference the shapes of diamonds. There's so many different diamonds. There's so many different color diamonds, just like different shape people, different color people, different sizes of people. And we believe that that is something that if you were to be able to visualize and remain empowered with, the rest is history, and you will be empowered to own that space from the inside out. When you enter into a room, your confidence will show up with you. So let's jump right in. What you will achieve. Today, it is my goal to discuss with you the various shapes of diamonds that we believe best resemble and define specific body types of women. Let you know what those elements are and the way to find them so that you can define your diamond. Then we're going to complement that and build upon it and discuss what the best silhouettes of clothing shape that best fit your body type. We will talk a little bit about fit, fabric, and feel, which are the things that I believe are important when it comes to trying to find the best clothing that fit for you. And we will then end with a little bit of discussion in regards to how you can remain inspired in the morning when you get dressed. I know that for me personally, that's not always the easiest morning routine that I have, but it is something that if well planned for and well thought through, we're able to make sure that we're getting off feeling good and looking good too. just like diamonds, you too have measurements and proportions. And I love the concept of measurements and proportions in relation to diamonds because I like to think of our bodies as a canvas, and you are the artist for your canvas. Just like a diamond setting is the canvas or the key thing that holds everything in place on a diamond ring. Diamonds by themselves are beautiful, obviously, but when I think about the concept of clothing in regards to diamonds, I feel like that is what is most fitting when it comes to a diamond is its diamond setting. And we have to have the right diamond setting that measures and is proportionately appropriate for that diamond for it to sit well. And that's the same thing for our bodies. One of the things that's important about this portion is keeping things simple. So we're going to only focus on the basic measurements today, and we'll build upon that as the series goes forth. And if this is the only class that you've purchased, let me just throw out there that there is a couple of other classes that build upon these things that really, really hone you in on your body type, how to accessorize, what it looks like and feels like when you're shopping. So make sure you go to oneposhcloset.com and check out those other master classes. But in the meantime, while I have you here, grab your measuring tape, a pen, and some paper, and let's get to it. We're going to start with your waist. It is, contrary to popular belief, above your belly button. So your hips are the bone that is actually right around the largest part, the thickest part of your bottom. And so a lot of people think that your hips are above that and that your waist is below your belly button. It's actually the opposite. So your waist is the smallest part of your natural trunk area, not going up too far in the rib cage, but right above your belly button. And your hips are your hip bone, and that actually measures around the largest part of your bum. And so what I'd like to tell everyone is when you're making these measurements, make sure not to squeeze the measuring tape too tight, because that can prove problematic when it comes to trying to find the proper size, because then everything will be overly tight, which is not a problem if that's how you like your clothing to fit, but you always want to have room for shrinkage if you're washing it. You want to have room for quote unquote growth. Women who we know what that's like, the fluctuating of weight, whether it's with our hormones or whether it's just naturally as we progress through life. So making sure that as you're writing down your measurements, you're making sure you're aiming for the right portions and parts of your body, but then also making sure that you have a little bit of room with the measuring tape while doing so. Okay, moving on. After that, we want to make sure that we have this part done really well. So if you have a close friend, loved one, or partner that's able to help you with this, this would be great. You want to make sure that you have someone help from holding the measuring tape from dropping in any of these areas, because if you're off slightly, again, it will make your sizing and your measurements off as well. And you want to make sure that you are measuring from the tip of one shoulder all the way around evenly, and it should be high up on the shoulders, meaning almost like a off the shoulder top that is got a little lip on it. So you want to make sure that it is sitting in a manner in which it's not all the way down, but right on your shoulder bone from the front all the way around your body, around the back and back again, where it meets you in the front. And you'll be able, the person who's doing this or assisting you would be able to tell you what that measurement would be, and then you can write that down. From the bust area, you want to make sure that you're going, again, that fullest part and around your back. Don't squeeze, because it will obviously, like I've repeated it several times, make your sizing off. And this is all about making sure that that diamond is in its proper setting. So you want to make sure that these sizes and measurements are working the best for you. So making sure that you are not pulling anything too tight, and making sure that you are able to get the measurement that you want, that you believe would be you being the most comfortable in your clothing. So now that you have those 4 measurements, what do you do with them? You keep them with you, and you can either put them in a note on your phone, on a little index card in your planner, or in your planner if you just have a written one. But what you can have now, most businesses, when you're shopping online or even in store, there will be a sizing chart. So it'll allow for you to know what measurements equals every brand's size 8 or size 10 or size 12, whatever your sizes are, it will equate to measurements. And every brand is different, every store is different. And typically, when you're thinking of small, medium, large, it depends on the size. I mean, the style of if it's a shirt or if it's a dress. But now that you have those measurements, you are now empowered to be able to go out and find the best fitting clothes for you using those measurements. So we're going to move on and start talking a little bit more about defining your body type, but it's always important that you're able to take this information and apply it. So using those measurements will allow you to do so. One of the things I love about being a stylist is being able to have the time and the opportunity to learn the things that a lot of people want to know and don't have time for. And so I wanted to share a style fact with you. Did you know that body shape is almost entirely based on your bone structure and not your weight? Have you ever seen 2 people that say that they weigh the same amount, but when you look at them, their body structure is different? And it kind of like throws you off a little bit about how can they possibly be the same weight and they look different. And it is because every body is different. Every diamond is different. And an emerald diamond that is 2 carats is going to look different than a princess cut diamond that is 2 carats. One sometimes looks bigger than the other. Same concept here. Your body shape is your bone structure, and it has very little to do with your weight, because your structure and your makeup in your body will remain the same even when your weight does not. Now that you have all that information, let's get into understanding your diamond. What you see here is a custom drawn image paired back with the type of diamond that it resembles. Our brick and mortar store, Queen Anna House of Fashion, which is where we are housed, our luxury concierge service, actually coined this and created it in a manner in which we're now able to share with you. Each diamond shape is different. Each person you see in the diamond shape is different. And what you see, there's 2 rows. The top row is what a standard diamond shape would be, or diamond type, body type. And the second row is the plus size. Plus size women don't need a whole subset different than the traditional sizing of a diamond. It is just taking what you know and what you see and elevating it, meaning the body type of it, and making sure that you understand it's about your measurements and not what your body looks like. So your shoulders are wider than your hips for a radiant diamond. You have muscular legs and thighs, and the measurements would, if be a little off possibly, but for the most part, that is what you would be for a radiant diamond. For a heart diamond, as you can see, your bust and your waist are typically more voluptuous than your hips, but relatively all measurements would be close. For a trillion diamond, your hips are more voluptuous than your bust area. Um, One of the things, again, we're not one in going into the fruit concept, but the trillion diamond is what we would say would be similar to someone that would be considered in the rest of the world as a pear-shaped body. Which one do you prefer, trillion diamond or pear? I know what I like, but I wanted to just see what it was that you liked. So moving on, we chose two more body types and two more diamonds to highlight here. Um, Body types are vast, diamonds are vast, but what we did is we went in and we found the ones that we thought would be most well known from the diamond perspective and the body types that would be most fitting to the majority of women. Obviously, there are some outliers, and we are here to help you too. So if you don't see your body type in any of this, and continuing on through the presentation, you make sure you reach out to us so that we can best serve you in what it is that you have come up with for a body type with your measurements. But jumping back in, for a princess diamond, your bust and chest area measure about the same as your hips, but your waist is smaller. So the top part of your body and the bottom part are relatively close, and your waist, that middle part right above your belly button, is smaller than both of those numbers. The emerald diamond, with this silhouette, your measurements are fairly even throughout. You have an athletic build, but not the same as the radiant diamond. It is more of a athletic, lean all the way through build, and your measurements you would see that within your measurements because they would all be similar. Okay, for all of us out there that are visual learners, I know I am, it was important for us to show you example body types that would resemble the diamonds that we were previously discussing, as well as the sizes that would be affiliated with them. Again, this is an example, and obviously you might not look identical to the images that you see here, but essentially the example and the body sizes, the measurements, are something that you can take for a frame of reference as we move on into understanding the best silhouette of clothing that is going to be most impactful on these body types. Now that we have covered the various types of diamond body types and the basic measurements and proportions to them, let's go a little bit deeper and find some inspiration in clothing tips and tricks for your body type, because that is the thing that's going to keep you inspired in the morning, as well as allow for you to understand what it is that you need to be doing as you're shopping and what's going to make you show up the way you want to be seen each and every day. Okay, this is where it gets fun. we are going to be talking about each of the diamond body types, and we're going to be giving some visual examples with some well-known celebrities, as well as some additional options in case the option presented isn't necessarily one you resonate with. But the thought behind it is that you're able to take your body type, your measurements, and feel empowered to go find the celebrity that is similar and check out what it is that they're wearing. We don't want you to go and copy their style. We want you to be you and do you, but sometimes you need a little bit more of a visual representation of body type and examples, and it will inspire and ignite something in you. And so that's what we're doing now. Right here, the princess diamond, your upper area and your bottom area, your bottom diamond is larger compared to your smaller waist. So your chest and bust area are usually about the same size as your hips, but your waist is typically smaller, and that is Beyonce. Then you also have some other examples listed: Salma Hayek, Scarlett Johansson. And it is really fun because they're not the only ones, right? And with this body type, fitted tops are great because it accentuates that area, but then also defines and it shows off that small waist. The other thing about it, this body type, I actually am this body type, so I know it really, really well. So I could spend so much time in this space, but I won't do that. If you do have any other further questions, if you get to the end, make sure you send us a note and we will address it accordingly. But this is the body type that looks great in wrap dresses. The fabric of knit and jersey drape really well. And when it comes to layering pieces on top of that, you get some more options because your shirt is fitted, but you can layer with a bigger, more structured coat or jacket, and depending on the length and the size, but it is something that will allow for you to accentuate your waist and show off your waist. And what you'll see here is, again, going back to those examples of the things that I was talking about. High-waisted pants are a Princess Diamond's best friend. It shows off your hourglass waist, and it is a wardrobe essential. If you are more petite or shorter, that's fine too, because I love a good tailored pant. You can take those to any tailor and get them hemmed right where you're most comfortable. But these are items that are going to make a princess cut diamond show up and feel confident and beautiful. And you can see with that power blazer, that is something that I love. But you see that the belt, where it's hitting right at that waist, because that's one area for a princess body type, we want to always make sure that is not actually adding too much weight in that space, because otherwise it can get a little boxy. So always working with proportions and dimensions as you're building your ensemble, but these are pieces that show off the curves without revealing too much. Okay, all my radiant diamonds out there, let's go over some of the things that we think look best on you. To start, let's start with people who have a similar body type that you may know: Terry Hatcher, Lily Donaldson, Cindy Crawford, and Michelle Obama. And even in this image, you can see that her shoulders are maybe slightly wider than her hips. She is a style icon in her own right, and so are you. So these are names that we're just putting out there for you to go check out their style and see which parts of it would work for you in your life at this moment. But what essentially we're going to be doing as stylists for you is talking you through a way to make a fake waist and create the illusion of curves, and making it so that your body shape is coming through and that you're not being hidden with clothes, because it's easy to get lost underneath a lot of layers, and we want to make sure that you're shining bright. And so creating a waist or a narrower waist with a wrap dress or wrap shirt, that's always an option. High-waisted trouser pants, just like our princess cut diamond. The other thing is that, I go back to my diamond setting. A well-fitted bra is essential for radiant body types because it allows for you to make the most out of your curves, meaning like, let's not necessarily put it all out there for the world to see, but at least give them the best presentation possible. So let's take a peek here now at some of the things that I compiled together for you to see, all of which actually is able to be done through our fashion luxury concierge service styling app. This is an image, but we actually have an app where you're taking pictures of your clothing and we're styling them similar to this and mixing and matching in new things as you need it. And there'll be a link to that if you want to take us up on a 2-week trial of that fashion app. But in the meantime, let's take a peek at these items and talk it through why they are great looks for our diamond type. And so what you see here is that this dress actually comes in, but it has a flare at the bottom. It allows for us to bring in that waist, like I mentioned before, but then also give a little depth and dimension to what it is that we have on. The other thing is, I know we don't all wear high heels, but with elongating the leg, it allows for more opportunity for your canvas. Just think about it as a canvas, or your body being that canvas, as I was talking about in the earlier portion of the masterclass, and you get to the end and you run out of space. A heel adds space. It gives you more room to create what it is that you're trying to pull off, and it allows for you to step out into the world with just a little bit more added confidence, if you will, and then also added space to be able to wear a longer pant or a longer dress without it feeling too boxy or too much. The other thing is, with this body type, pulling off bright colors and bold prints on top allows for you to do a really subtle, calmer bottom, and then pairing it back and up, doing it as you see in this image with accessories. We actually have a masterclass all on accessories, how to accessorize your assets. And these earrings allow for elongation along the sides of her face that also match in correspondence with proportions and silhouettes of that dress. When it comes to that jacket, obviously a trench is an essential, I believe, anyway. It's one of those things that you can wear year round depending on where you live at, but then also that's something that's not going to go out of style, and it's just a nice little layer that kind of can pull all together because it's a neutral color. So, all my heart diamonds out there, let's jump in. This means that your bust and chest area are typically more voluptuous than your hips. And again, for me, sometimes I feel like I fit in this one too. And again, I really possibly could. It just depends. We as women change all the time, and it's okay to change. Evolution is something that is going to happen regardless. We just have to come into agreement with it. But other heart diamond celebs that you might know: J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, Rihanna, and America Ferrera. And if you don't resonate well with any of these listed celebs, you understand what it is that you're looking for now. So you're able to go out and find someone with this body type and see if they have any type of style or fashion tip and trick that you see them repeating that you think would be great for you. The thing about this body type is that making sure that you're not suffocating your curves with whether it's too tight clothing in some spaces or uncomfortable things, because sometimes I know for myself, I can tell when my pants might be a tad bit too small because the lines that you see are the ones that you kind of can see right here in JLo's skirt, but they're much more in depth. You can kind of also see any type of body skimmer or a shaper underneath, and that's something we definitely don't want. Okay, heart diamonds, let's take a peek at what it is that I pulled together for you. These are some of the things that best accentuate your diamond. Generally speaking, accentuating your shoulders, neck, and bust area tastefully, of course, is always a plus. Um, these are items that don't add too much volume, but then give you a nice feminine appeal. And if feminine is not your style, these silhouettes and clothing would work well still. Material wise, silks and satins always lay well. And again, going back to the concept of not necessarily wanting to have anything that is too tight on the body that is already so beautifully curved. The other concept is things that are adding dimension in hemlines, things that kind of hang lower, allow for a little bit of dimension in that space. And because you can layer on top of anything that is kind of flat and not too bulky, doesn't have too many applique things or frills, so to speak, you're able to layer and add structure and shape with jackets and coats like this tweed one that is so amazing. And then also adding anything that's long and playing with the dimensions also creates a vertical line in your midsection, thus making you look a lot more elongated and not so tight and compacted if you're layering too many heavier things on top without any dimension in length or in silhouette and shape, thus the hemline and the longer coat. As it comes with bottoms or jeans, a straight or slim option is always the best. If you don't love form-fitting pants, you can always do a simple boyfriend style where it's just a straight leg without anything being too tight or too form-fitting for you. The slightly flared hem there that you see is always going to balance out a curvy silhouette. I'm speaking from existence on that one. And a high-rise pair of pants also creates a waistline in that space. So if that's something that works for you, you have that option to do that as well. And that's just a few of the tips and tricks for this body type. Obviously, each one of these body types, you can do so much more, but these are the things that we think are most practical in this moment. And then going back to a nude heel, ladies, nude goes with everything in any season. It's not going out of style. And again, this is a shoe that actually I have as well, but it is so comfortable, the chunky heel. Again, not going too far into the concept of that because we have a whole other masterclass based solely around accessorizing. So I don't want to spill the beans there. So you can go check that out at oneposhcloset.com. Okay, all my trillion diamonds out there, let's get into it. Your hips are typically more voluptuous than your bust and chest area. And you're going to see here a few of the diamond celebs that you share this body type with. Kate Winslet, Keira Knightley, and Shakira. And again, if these women don't resound well with you or you don't see yourself in that lineup, you can take what it is that you know about your body type and go to whether it's Pinterest or one of your best magazines and find the body type, because you know what it is that a trillion diamond is made up of, and take and pull from those women for any type of added inspiration. Always do you, never go out and copy. We want you to find your own and live in that space. As it relates to style tips and tricks, to balance out the overall silhouette, you want to make sure that your top is showing off that defined waist, not necessarily like Shakira has here in this photo, but just making sure that it's something that is not always layered upon or covered up. Bright colors on top allows for you to do darker and roomier cuts of bottoms. Just again, giving you a little bit more cohesiveness in proportion to body type as well as your clothing. Okay, ladies, let's talk about this beautiful body type of yours. There's so many different things that you can do, but these are a few of the pieces that I thought would be essential and would go with most settings of whether it's day to night or even some, the blue jean Friday office wear. The material that you see here are materials that drape well and also go well with layering. So the cowl neck is going to give an added little open neck area there, and it's going to have that cowl neck that ends up drawing about volume right in the vicinity of your body. That is going to add a proportion to the bottom half, and it's going to complement well. The jean that you see here is one that, again, breaking up that bright color with the dark bottom, it is going to be a little bit roomier, and it is, in a nutshell, just a very great cut for most body types, actually. But it's not something that is going to be squeezing too tight, but it's going to actually look great on your body, but then also allow for you to be comfortable in them. The jacket that you see is one that is more of a cut off type, a cropped. And it allows for it to hit at or above your waistline because you don't want to add any additional fabric on your hips. That's an area that's already voluptuous by itself, and it is perfect in all of its rights. But we don't need to add anything there, and we don't want to add too much at the waist, being that that is also perfect in its right, and we're going to try to show that off and accentuate that the best way we can. That's why when we're doing this longer coat, the belt is usually pulled over to the side, just as an accent, but then it's also one that's thin. Nothing too overly crowded in that space, so that allows for you to have a tailored and structured appeal, balancing out your silhouette. It's always, fun to add in the stylish accessories, and it's always something that can make or break or take you up or take you down when it comes to accessories. You don't always have to wear them, but essentially if you want to have a, almost like, I feel like it's a packaged bow or gift. And for me personally, my earrings, that's my bow, wrapping it all together. And when it comes to that, they always can help me balance out a silhouette, whatever I'm wearing, and then it also can be complementary to what it is that I'm wearing. And I think that these drop earrings, they bring focus to your face, especially when your hair is pulled back. Okay, Emerald Diamonds, let's jump into what it is we found for you. One of the things that I wanted to make sure that I did was find emerald diamonds that are different and not necessarily ones that you would think would fall into this category, but they do. Mariah Carey, Gwyneth Paltrow, Gwen Stefani, and these three beautiful women right here. Each one obviously very, very different in body structure, but like I said before, going back to the people who weigh the same, but their body bone structure underneath is similar, allowing them to be the same weight and not necessarily always what it is that you see on the outside. One of the perks of having your beautiful body is that you can choose to play up whatever it is you want. So if you can see here, each one of these women have chosen to play off something different. We've got some nice, the girls are out, some nice tatas, and I mean, occasionally, you know, depending on who you are, that works for you. But then you'll see that the next image, in the middle image, is drawing everyone into that lovely waist. And then on the end, we're going to end with beautiful legs. So obviously having options is always a good thing. If you're going voluminous on the top, you want to balance it out with something simple and fitted on the bottom, and vice versa. Okay, here are a few of the things that we thought would be really fun to show off in this silhouette. The layering piece in the middle obviously is one that would go well over anything. And I wanted to show you that playing that up on either side with the dress and or with the fitted top, as well as the pant at the bottom. There are so many things that you can do when you're wanting to dress for success in this beautiful diamond body type. You can accentuate the waist, which is what you see with the shirt, because it's a fitted shirt, and then also being able to tuck that in to the high-waisted pant. It kind of just pulls it all together. Some people would wear belts with that if you wanted to. I say that if you're showing off that beautiful waist, let's not. Let's just tuck it in and let it do its thing. Adding a little bit of height with that booty, and then playing off dimension with throwing over top of that a long duster, and allowing the colors and everything within the duster, the plush and the denim, to be pulled together lovely. Also, going back to the wrap dress, I honestly believe that the wrap dress is one that goes with every body type, but this one specifically allows for you to have some space in the neck area. And if you want to show off those girls, let it go. And then if you don't, you're able to wrap it a bit tighter and accentuate that area with a nice piece of jewelry. Again, if you haven't checked out that styling masterclass with accessories, you have to head over to oneposhcloset.com and do so. Okay, so with that, you have so much that you can do, so many different style tips and tricks. I don't want to inundate you too much longer with all of the wealth of knowledge. I want you to take this and put it into action. Understand that you're able to use your outfit to balance out all of your body, whether it's your shoulders, your bust, your waist, and your hips, whatever it is that you want to accentuate. Remember proportions, and remember, in this situation, and I think in life, opposites attract. If you go big on the bottom, go small on the top. If you go long as your coat on the top, then think of everything fitted in between. Your eye is going to focus on where the lines are, meaning the long lines. Short lines keep us compacted in. Long lines allow for you to get length, as well as allow for the eye to kind of go to where you want it to be the focus. Understanding too that wearing brighter patterns and prints, or even pastels, things that are not normal, I guess, quote unquote, black, blue, navy blue, or gray, those are the things that are going to bring attention. And then the subtle black, navy blues, and grays are the things that you can wear to complement and pull it all together. Also, recapping and remembering, your body is beautiful. It's your body, you're a diamond, and we're going to treat it as such. Your proportions are what make up your diamond. Your measurements are the things that we use to properly to dress our diamond. For inspiration, find your muse. But what we want you to always do is you, not your muse, not the inspirational photo, not the advice of, someone who thinks you should do, but take what it is that you've learned and make it your own, come to your own conclusions and do you. At the end of the day, that's what the goal is, for you to look in the mirror, walk out the house and into any setting and feel comfortable, confident, and beautiful, because your body's a diamond and it's time to shine bright like a diamond and let the world see.